For the last example, we've got using an irrational number in a practical sense. A little bit of a typo there. I don't know why that letter Y stayed there. I changed my mind on something, so my apologies for that one. So the problem says a class is visiting a historical landmarks in Chicago. Outside of the Washington block, they break up into two groups. So Group A walks about 800 meters east and then 200 meters to the south to the Chicago building, while Group B walks about 600 meters south and 200 meters east to the Rookery building. To the nearest 10 meters, how much further from Group A or is Group A from the Washington block than Group C? So we need to figure out how far they traveled. Now let me zoom in this picture a second. You can see it on yours as well. So we'll see Group A going this way 800 meters and then going south for 200 meters. And then for Group B, you'll see they went south first and then 200 meters over. So they went south for 600 meters and then east for 200 meters. So we're really looking for this hypotenuse here. So let's talk about Group A. Let me switch colors to coordinate. So red, we had Group A. Now to figure out that hypotenuse, that's what we were talking about yesterday with the Pythagorean theorem of a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So the two legs squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So let's see, a squared, one of our legs, that's 800 meters squared, plus the other leg, 200 meters squared, is going to be equal to c squared. 800 squared, you can do that in a calculator. You get 640,000. It's really big. Plus 200 meters squared, that gives us 40,000. That's equal to c squared. Let me zoom in on those a little bit. 640,000 plus 40,000 gives us 680,000 equals c squared. And remember, we're trying to solve for that c value, so we need to take the square root of both sides. Now, 680,000 is not a perfect square number, so we're going to have to round it. So when we punch in the square root of 680,000, sorry, I'm having a problem with that, we end up with c, that hypotenuse, equals about, let's just round it to the nearest whole meter, 825. So let me switch colors in that a second, sorry. So that means that distance that we have on our map here is about 825 meters. Now we're going to do the same thing for Group B. So using blue for Group B, let's go through the same process, doing the two legs. So Group B, let me draw a line to show that we're doing a different group. So Group B, using the same idea of a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So the two legs, well, one of our legs was 600 squared plus the other leg of 200 squared equals our hypotenuse squared. We don't know what that hypotenuse is. 600 squared, that's 360,000. You can do that on a calculator if you don't want to do that in your head. 200 squared, that's 40,000. And we're still getting c squared. Again, still trying to solve for that hypotenuse, that c. Oops, sorry, I'm skipping ahead a step. Adding those two together, we end up with 400,000 equals c squared. This is where I was trying to do the square roots. So let me zoom in a little bit. Trying to solve for c, we got to take the square root of both sides. So that gets rid of the square that's on c. So we're left with just c. And then the square root of 400,000. We don't know exactly what that is. Or we can get a decimal, but let's just round it to just a nice whole number. So we'll round it to 632. Let me rewrite that. It looked a little sloppy. So 632. So we're asked to figure out how much further Group A is than Group B. So let's see, if that's 632, to find the difference, we'll just subtract. We'll do Group A's distance, 825, minus Group B's distance of 632, and we end up with 193. So we're going to say Group A is about 193 meters further than Group B. It's not exact because we rounded, but sometimes rounding is going to be okay. So they're about 193 meters, and I'm just going to abbreviate it as M, further than Group B. And there you have it.